Your arteries are significantly blocked. We need to start discussing surgical options. I am a cardiologist. In my career, there are conversations I never want to have. It's when I have to sit across from a patient, look at their results, and say the words that no one wants to hear. Stent placement or coronary bypass surgery are wonderful medical achievements that can save many lives. But they also come with a very high price. In the US, the cost for such an intervention can easily exceed $50,000. I can immediately see the worry in their eyes. And I know in that moment a series of questions runs through their minds. Why me? What do I do now? This is terrible. The fear for their health merges with the fear of a huge financial burden. But I always believe that the operating room is the last resort, not the first choice. For many years, I have researched and guided my patients down a different path, a path not based on extreme restrictions. Today, I will share with you the 5 medical principles I use to help patients reprogram their bodies naturally, clean their arteries, and stay away from the operating room door. Patients often ask me, "Doctor, do I have to go on a keto diet? Do I have to become a complete vegetarian?" And my answer might surprise you. No, I don't prescribe those kinds of miserable diets. Why? Because as a doctor, I have witnessed too many patients fail with them. Diets that are too restrictive, forbidding entire food groups, are often not sustainable in the long run. They create a cycle of craving violation and guilt, and can ultimately add more stress to your metabolism. Our true medical goal is not to diet. Our goal is to restore a wonderful innate ability of the body that medicine calls metabolic flexibility. It is simply the ability of your body to smoothly and efficiently switch between using sugar from carbohydrates and using fat for energy. When you have this flexibility, your body becomes an efficient machine, knowing when to burn and when to store. But when you lose it, your body gets stuck in a mode of only storing fat and causing inflammation. This is the root of insulin resistance and ultimately the plaque in your arteries. So how do we regain that flexibility? The 5 principles I am about to share are my prescription. They are not prohibitive rules. They are 5 switches that help you turn back on the ability to self-heal and the efficiency of your body's metabolic engine. The first medical principle I guide my patients on may go against much of the advice you've heard. It's not cut out carbs, but rather eat carbs at the right time. My advice is this. Concentrate the majority of your good carbohydrates for the day things like sweet potatoes, oats, or brown rice to the time after you exercise or during your evening meal. This is the medical reason behind it. After you exercise, your muscle cells become extremely sensitive to insulin. They are like hungry sponges, ready to soak up almost all the sugar from the carbs you eat to replenish their energy stores called glycogen. This means that sugar won't be floating around in your blood, won't cause a major insulin spike, and won't be converted into fat. Furthermore, eating carbs in the evening can also support the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps you relax and sleep better. So how can you apply this? Very simply. Your breakfast and lunch can focus on clean protein sources like eggs, fish, chicken, and healthy fats like avocado, and then save your carbohydrate portion for your last meal of the day. This is not a restriction. It's a smart strategy to work with your body instead of against it. Controlling insulin in this way is the first and most important step to reducing chronic inflammation in the body and preventing new plaque from forming. This is how you begin the process of cleaning your arteries from the inside out. My second principle is an extremely simple change in habit, but one that brings astonishingly effective results in controlling blood sugar and weight. That is, always eat the protein portion of your meal first. That's right, it's simply about changing the order in which you eat. Before you eat your rice bread or even vegetables, eat a few pieces of the meat, fish, eggs, or tofu on your plate first. Why is this small habit so powerful? There are two main medical reasons. First, eating protein. First slows down the gastric emptying process. This means that the carbohydrates you eat afterward will be absorbed into the blood more slowly, helping to completely prevent a sudden blood sugar spike. Second, protein is the most satiating nutrient. It stimulates the body to produce hormones that signal fullness to the brain. When you eat protein first, you will naturally feel full faster and tend to eat less of other high-calorie dishes without having to try to restrain yourself. This is a principle that doesn't require you to change your menu or count calories, just simply change the order of eating. You can apply it starting with your very next meal. The clinical significance of this is huge. More stable blood sugar means there will be less micro-damage to the walls of your arteries. And less damage means there are fewer scratches for cholesterol to stick to and form atherosclerotic plaques. This is another simple yet foundational step to keep your arteries clean and healthy, helping you stay away from the risk of surgery. My third principle is about movement, and it also goes against what you often see online. Forget about high-intensity workouts that leave you exhausted, those 15-minute high-IT videos that promise to burn everything. Instead, I often prescribe my patients a type of exercise that is much more effective and safer for long-term cardiovascular health. That is the power of Zone 2 cardio. So what is Zone 2 cardio? It is any exercise of low to moderate intensity maintained steadily for a relatively long period, usually from 30 to 60 minutes. The most important identifying sign is that you can still hold a conversation comfortably while exercising. If you are panting and can't speak in full sentences, you are training too hard. Perfect examples are brisk walking, light jogging or cycling at a moderate pace. Why is this method so effective? The answer lies in the mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells. Zone 2 is the optimal heart rate zone to train and make these mitochondria healthier and more efficient. When your mitochondria are healthy, they become extremely good at using fat as their primary energy source. Regular training in Zone 2 will turn your body into an efficient fat-burning machine even when you are at rest. It builds a solid endurance base and improves the heart's pumping efficiency without causing excessive inflammation or stress on the body. How to start? Very simple. Set aside 3 to 4 sessions a week, about 45 minutes each, for a brisk walk in the park or on a treadmill. As long as you can maintain a conversation while exercising, you are doing it right. That's all you need to start rebuilding your metabolic engine. The clinical significance of this is invaluable. A more efficient cardiovascular system and a body that knows how to burn fat for energy will result in lower blood pressure, better lipid panel numbers, and a great reduction in the overall load on the circulatory system. This is one of the most powerful ways to reduce the risk factors that cause a doctor to consider surgery. My fourth principle might seem a bit strange, and it's not related to diet or exercise, but there is growing scientific evidence supporting its powerful impact on the metabolism. That is using cold therapy to boost your metabolism. No, I don't require my patients to soak in an ice bath. My advice is very simple and can be done right at home. End your daily warm shower with a 30 to 60-second blast of cold water. Why is this seemingly torturous act beneficial? Medically speaking, exposing the body to cold temperatures suddenly has the ability to activate a special type of fat tissue called brown adipose tissue. Unlike the regular white fat we often think of, which only stores energy, brown fat is a heat-generating machine. It burns calories and fatty acids to create heat, helping to warm the body. Activating brown fat regularly can help boost your basal metabolic rate and improve your insulin sensitivity. How to start without too much of a shock? Very simple. Start with just 15 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower for the first week. Then gradually increase to 30 seconds, then 45 seconds. I admit the first few times will be quite difficult, but the refreshing and energized feeling afterward will make you want to continue. What is the clinical significance of this? Any safe method that helps improve insulin sensitivity and boost metabolism is a valuable ally in the fight against cardiovascular disease. It contributes to reducing systemic inflammation, one of the main causes of atherosclerosis. This is a small but mighty trick to help your body repair itself. And now for the final principle, the fifth principle. And I want to say this may be the most important principle of all. Yet it is the thing we often sacrifice first in our busy lives. That is deep sleep, the body's natural medicine and ultimate repair cycle. My advice to my patients is very clear. Consider sleep to be just as important as your diet and your exercise. When you sleep, your body does not turn off at all. On the contrary, that is when it works the hardest to repair and recover. During the deep sleep stage, your brain carries out a cleanup process for toxins accumulated during the day. Your entire body will be in its most powerful anti-inflammatory state. Stress hormones like cortisol will decrease, and most importantly, your insulin sensitivity will be reset. One night of poor quality sleep can sabotage all of your diet and exercise efforts from that day. So how do you get more deep sleep? The three most important things I often advise are: 1. Maintain a very consistent sleep and wake schedule even on weekends. 2. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bed so your digestive system can rest. And 3. Turn your bedroom into a cave. Very dark, very cool, and very quiet. Clinically speaking, deep sleep is the golden window for the body to repair the small damages inside the arteries before they become big problems. Quality sleep is one of the most powerful and free tools against heart disease that we all possess. Optimizing it means you are naturally reducing your risk factors, helping you get further and further away from the operating room door. We have gone through 5 medical principles: the timing of eating carbs, prioritizing protein in meals, the power of Zone 2 cardio cold therapy, and the importance of deep sleep. When combined, they form an extremely powerful strategy to reprogram your metabolic engine. They help your body transform from a machine that only stores fat and causes inflammation into an efficient fat-burning and self-repairing machine. This is not a miserable diet. This is lifestyle medicine, a smart approach to addressing the root causes of arterial plaque instead of just dealing with symptoms. And this is the proven medical path that can help my patients stay away from the operating room door. Not through extreme restrictions, but through understanding the body and smart strategies. The choice to start on this path lies in your own hands. You don't need to take overwhelming measures. You just need to start with small, smart steps and maintain them consistently. Discuss these principles with your own doctor. If this video has given you a glimmer of hope and a new way to think about your health, please help me spread it by hitting the like button. And I really want to know of these 5 principles, which one will you start applying first? Let me know in the comments below.